Hey, Scott here from Solution Wolf. And I like that picture in the back. That's Mount Rainier. Up here in the Pacific Northwest, it's great. But Napoleon Hills, have you been missing out on, have you read Think and Grow Rich? And then you thought, man, this is what I've got. But there's some things that just still needed clarification. Guess what? He wrote another one 20 years later. So I'm going to try and hit the pause button. I'm going to try and do this thing and make it a little bit some of the best. But man, am I excited to go over some of the master keys of riches. You know, here's the deal is I've been studying a lot of this stuff with Napoleon Hill for literally 25 years. And I've applied it to different areas in my life where, I've been an operations manager, I've done some certain things, but I'll be honest with you, sometimes I don't feel like I've achieved very much because what I had done is put everything on a financial picture of some pie in the sky thing idea I had until I decided to grind in and do the necessary work and believe that the big idea could happen. There's a guy named Grant Cardone who has this book called 10X. It's a great book, but I will tell you, I'll get more into that later. But I am studying the master key to riches, not just reading it. See, the problem is I've read this book before and I just read it. I didn't really stop and think about it. Thinking is, as Henry Ford said, is such a hard job because so few do it. It's tough because you've got to process what he is saying. And I have went back and there's some stuff I've highlighted, as I went through some of this, and I'm just going to show you a few examples of some of the stuff that I've kind of written and destroyed in this book as I continue to work it. And, I'm putting some of my highlights in there. I put, here's one that I started writing in the book and stuff. The, it's about, the thoughts and the brain. So where I did is I started this first one, and I'm probably going to have to go back, but he talks about the self-discipline aspect of going the extra mile and having a definite purpose in life, not having 9 or 10. So this was probably the mistake that I made early on, is had so many what I thought definite purposes were in life. But here's the problem. A definite purpose in life isn't a definite purpose if you have 8 or 9 other ones, right? So if you have a definite purpose and you are willing to go the extra mile, that is half of the battle. The next thing he gets into talking about is the mastermind. And a lot of people, you guys already know what a mastermind is. It's a group of people, like-minded people that get together, create synergy for ideas and projects and different works of, whatever kind of thing that you're doing. However, a true mastermind is 2 or more people going after the exact same thing, kind of with a yin and a yang type of effect where one completes the other. And the power of the brain, that it's a receiving set. There's a receiving set, and he talks about the telepathy that minds will start to share when they're on the same frequency level and the same path. Now, what's kind of funny about this frequency level is Nikola Tesla had also worked with the same thing before he went with his radio waves and talking. And I think I've got other talks later on that talk about Nikola Tesla. But back to the book of Napoleon Hill, he's saying that the mastermind group, or, it's 2 or more people. Now, the best one is a man and a wife. If they are connected together and have learned to communicate, then that is the best mastermind group that there can be. However, for myself and a lot of people, it's learning a little too late, a little too, far out. But that is precisely what should and needs to happen. And if every person would do that going forward, you would probably see the rate of divorces go like almost plummet to nothing, because that is the essential part of when a man and a woman come together and they're focused on the same exact goal. Now, and maybe that's not politically correct these days to say man and woman, but I'm going to say it anyway. The frequency when a group of people come together, and sometimes they talk about a business project, the problem is that oftentimes the individual people in the group, they have their own agenda. They say, I'm going to contribute and we're going to get together and think about this thing, but I have my own thing I'm thinking about. And what happens is the frequency levels never kind of match up together. They're close and they can create some synergy and some good results, but never as good as when 2 or 3 or 4 people are going after the same exact goal. And I'll give you an example of what I mean. Walt Disney, when he was doing Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, that was it. That was the end game. That was the time and the focus of everything that most of the people in his studio were doing. He had this group of guys called the 9 Old Men, and they kind of came together in the studio right about the time of Snow White. A couple guys were there before, a couple guys came afterwards, but basically what he did is he used these people and they were all after the same exact goal, and that was to make this full-length feature film, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Walt Disney was the antagonist of this mastermind, but he had this mastermind group of people that came together that was their purpose. That was everything that they staked everything that they had on this movie, because this was the make or break moment for the entire studio. So everybody that had a vested interest in that moment, that particular thing. There was no other agenda. It was to make this movie, make it the best, do whatever you had to do. And when it came together, of course, it broke all the records. It broke all the stereotypes about animated long, movies and then that kind of stuff. So the mastermind group is that one that gets on the same frequency level. And so it's great to have what, if you want to call it a mastermind group of people that come together and they kind of have the same outcome that they're all kind of looking to create. But when you have 2 or 3 or more people and you're doing the exact same thing and you're wanting the exact same thing, whether it be a project or let's say music like a song or an album, or let's say it's a business partnership, that if it's exactly on board, there is a sending and receiving of the brain functions that will start to cause a telepathy effect that goes into what he calls the sixth sense. So it can't be underestimated, the importance of the mastermind. But the mastermind can only be construed if you have people that have a definiteness of purpose, the one single factor that they're going after, and they're willing to go the extra mile. The next things on there is self-discipline and applied faith. Faith that things will get done. To go back to the Walt Disney story, these people that were doing this had to have faith. Now, there were some that did not have the faith that it was going to be that it was going to go successful. And I think some of those people just kind of got washed away. There was some that just didn't end up staying with the company after that. They just didn't have the faith. But those 9 old men, that I just love that story of these 9 old men. These guys, they had it. They had the faith that this was going to rock the world and rock the entertainment industry. So there you have it. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoy what we're talking about here with the Master Key to Riches, some of the table talks that I'm bringing home with me as I read this throughout the day. And, soon we'll set up a little table and it'll be like having a discussion. But I would love to hear your comments. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button, and I hope to see you on the next one. Thanks.